Best nicknames in boxing, Kalvin Hot Sauce Henderson. What's happening tonight?
What's up, big dog, man? You good, Mark?
We're doing good, doing good. That you're down in Fayetteville, Arkansas. How's everything going down there?
Man, it's going really well, man. The weather's pretty humid, but just how I like it, though, man. It's pretty nice, great weather. I'm getting my running in, and so can't complain, man.
What have you been up to during this shutdown with everything? With everything going on with the coronavirus, the pandemic, COVID-19. What have you been doing?
Man, really just trying to stay busy right now, man. Just, I'm a firm believer of you can't take this job like a part-time job, like a lawyer or a doctor or something like that. So, man, I'm just trying to stay ready so I don't have to get ready. Doing a lot of running. I've actually been hitting the weight suit. Me and my strength coach been actually getting together and doing some more weight stuff to kind of put on some more muscle, some more power in those shots. And then got back working with my pads. I actually started back sparring last week, man. And so I got cleared to get back to some sparring, and so that's been going well also.
Well, you can talk about that. Obviously, you were injured in your last fight, and if you want to get into it, go right ahead. What happened there?
Yeah, so it's an injury that happened. It was an old injury. It kind of went under the radar for a little while, and I had a big opportunity coming up with Showbox in Las Vegas, one of the Floyd fighters, and I was going through my pre-fight medical like I always do. But Nevada, one of the stricter commissions required I went to an ophthalmologist, not an optometrist. So I went to an actual MD doctor of the eye, and the first thing they saw was the cataracts in my eye. But they was like, "Don't worry about that. You can still fight with those. Not a big deal." Then he saw a detached retina and in my eye, and he said he could tell from how long it was torn. It was an old injury. I kind of got an idea about when that kind of started. But I'm just thankful they caught it when it did. It's kind of bad timing, good timing type thing, man. It was bad timing because I was about to show the world what we already know, and good timing because they caught it before I lost my eye completely.
You're coming off the first little blemish on your record, the draw with against Plana late last year, and then Plana took that opportunity that you had, and he did a great job against Newman, the guy you were supposed to fight. What are your, I mean, does it give you a little bit of kind of vindication, that hey, you know what, I fought a heck of a fighter, Plana, and he showed well as well.
So that was the thing. So with the Newman fight, man, that was in the bag for us, man. Like when I say that guy was picked perfect for us. I like the way he was so confident in his skill sets. That mean I wasn't gonna have to chase him. He was gonna come to me, and so it was perfect, man. We was gonna knock Newman out, man. That's not even me, like being cocky, nothing. Just the hard work we put in. I know my skill set match up against his. But yeah, man. So his fight with Polana, it showed what I've been saying when I fought Polana after the fight, that this guy is awkward, man. Like this guy is not as easy as it seems when you see him fight. When you watch him fight, his hands down, his chin is high in the air, and you think, oh, I'm gonna step to him and catch him with the right hand. Good luck, you know what I mean? And so I feel like we fought the right game plan. I just took too long to get it going. So I feel like in the 10-round fight, I would have got the decision. But you gotta step with it with a good job, and I think we had that going. It just took too long to get it going.
Is that a fight? At some point you'd want to run back?
Man, I want all the smoke, man. You know me.
Yeah.
I don't turn down fights, man. Of course, the timing right, the money right, just make it happen.
Last year and a half or so, it's kind of been a little bit of a coming out party for you. You were about 9-0 or so, fighting down, in Texas and in Arkansas. You came up, you defeated a very good fighter in Brandon Robinson, and you beat a nice fighter around here in Atlantic City named Antoine Akins. You stopped both of them. That kind of puts you on the map a little bit. What's it been like in the sense that you're now on the map as a legitimate prospect, kind of creeping into being a contender?
And what's crazy is that, in my area, there's not a lot of top professional boxing in my area. And so we knew that we can go under the radar for a little while. But then guys who know boxing knows boxing. So they know when a guy is the real deal, when not the real deal. So our game plan when we first turned pro and didn't have the big backing like Top Rank or Golden Boy is our first thing was get the first 10 pro fights out the way. So whoever was willing to fight for a decent amount of price will fight them, get experience, keep learning. And then when the opportunity comes, which it did against Brandon Robinson, Marshall came calling, and we took the opportunity, which most cats at that point in their career wouldn't take, man. 10-0, it went to somebody else's backyard and their promotion company, and fight their champ in the main event. You know, a lot of cats want to do that, and boxing is about calculated risk, as you know. We took the opportunity, but it's been great, man. Just showing the world. You asked me my interview after I fought Antoine Akins, was I surprised that my jab knocked him down or dropped him? And I was like, no, man, we've been doing this. You guys may be surprised. This is something we've been working on for a long time.
Gotcha. And like you said, you came up to fought a guy in another in his backyard. You hooked up with a good young manager in Shane Shapiro. Talk about your alignment with him.
Yeah, so coming out the amateurs, I was ranked number 4 in my weight class, and so I done did all the top tournaments, National Golden Gloves, National Power Tournament. I done fought for Team USA in the World Series of Boxing, which is like semi-pro. And we was getting ready for the Olympic trials later that year in 2016, and actually 2015, I believe. And I was at a trial qualifier in Philadelphia. In the first round of the tournament, I got a headbutt. It's when an amateur we didn't fight with a headgear.
Yeah.
So I got headbutted right here and split me wide open in an amateur tournament. I'm talking about an amateur tournament. Of course, I got disqualified because you can't fight in a tournament with stitches in your eye, right? And so at that point, I was like, nah, man, I'm getting banged up and cut up and not getting paid for it. Let's do it. So I'm already in my mindset about, what's next. And Shane actually reached out to me and my team. And he said, man, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the Olympic trials is coming up here. I want to see you perform. Now, like, man, actually, me and my coach, we actually going to try to go a different route and actually turn pro before the trials. And after that, we had a conversation, man. We brought everything to the table and we're linked up, and here we are.
And obviously, he's a good, solid young manager, and then he brought you to King's Promotions, who's one of, if not the most the busiest promoter in the country, and a fight with Robinson, fight with Akins, a fight with Plana, who obviously turns out he's a good fighter, and then you would have had the showbox opportunity. So talk about what Marshall Kaufman, King's Promotions, that team.
So me and Shane and my coach Kevin, like we all knew we had the skill sets, to do what we need to do and be on top. We just needed the right opportunity. And sometimes in boxing, you got to take those risks, like we talked about with Brandon Robinson. And as a manager, he made that happen. He made the connections. He got his opportunity to show our skill sets, and we did that, man. And Marshall, as a promoter, man, I like it because he has connections. He's been in the game for a long time, man, as a trainer, as a fighter, as a dad, as a coach, and a promoter and stuff. And so he has connections, which what it takes to get your guys and opportunities to show what they got. You know what I'm saying? What I like about King's Promotion is that he puts you with tough opposition. He don't baby you. He doesn't coddle you.
Mm-hmm.
He puts you with tough opposition. And my theory is that if you can fight, you can fight. You know what I mean? If you can't fight, you get weeded out and go back to the ranks and go back to being a chef or whatever. You know what I mean? But if you can fight, you can fight. So fight.
Talk about you kind of are doing a little bit of a backwards thing. Usually, you'll see a fighter from Fayetteville, Arkansas, which is like a smaller city, go to Dallas, Texas for the work. You actually are from Dallas, Texas, and you train in Fayetteville, Arkansas. So how did you come up with that dynamic?
So it's crazy, man. So I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, born and raised originally, and I went to Arkansas on a scholarship, music scholarship, University of Arkansas, man. And so I wanted to turn professional in boxing right after high school. I was boxing already at 15 years old. Mom was like, nah, man, you're getting your education. And so I did it. I liked it. It was always a fallback plan, though. You know what I mean? I wanted to box. And my last semester of college, I met Kevin Lightside Lightburn, my current trainer right now. And it was here in Northwest Arkansas. And when I started training with him, man, I knew that was going to be the one to take me to the next level. We're both not from that area. Kevin, originally from Florida, and moved to Little Rock pursuing his football dreams. He got married and then moved north to Arkansas. Me being from Texas, we clicked up, linked up. And our idea with this sport right now is that no one in the Fayetteville area or even Arkansas, like for that matter, is doing what we're doing. You know what I mean? So we can move to Vegas. I've been in Vegas and LA and sparred all the time. We know we got the skills. We could do that. But imagine taking over an entire area where everywhere you go, you talk about boxing, you talking about hot sauce. Mm-hmm. Anything with boxing, you talking about hot sauce. And so that's how you build up a huge fan base and get people behind you and take that to show. Man, ask Marshall in Las Vegas, when I was supposed to fight, my fans still showed up to Las Vegas. That's what I'm saying, man. It's all about building, as you know, professional boxing. It's about building, revenue, which is, ticket sales and support, and that's how you make it to the top.
And how much has obviously you've garnered fans from across the country, social media. I mean, I see
Yes,
you
sir.
on there, and you're picking up fans that way as well.
Yes, sir. So the biggest way is also, I'm a trainer, a personal trainer and group class trainer at Straight Right Boxing Fitness. And so having that clientele where I can talk to different people, I got lawyers, I got doctors, got mechanics, I got people of all different facets I get to talk to, and they branch out and talk to their people, just word of mouth. And of course, I'm a stand-up guy, Mark. You know what I mean?
Yes, you
People
are.
like me. I got a nice smile, man. And I'm a straightforward type of guy. I'm not gonna bullshit you, man. I'm an honest guy, and so people can navigate towards that because they think boxers are all thugs and people that got no manners and just disrespectful all the time and shit. And outside the ring, I'm a nice guy. You know what I mean? Inside the ring, that's a different story. But outside the ring, I'm a good guy, man.
You have your moments. Talk about the music. What type of music? You go on a music scholarship. That's you don't hear that much from a professional boxer.
Yes, sir. So I've been playing drums since I was about 6 years old. That started in the church. I would go and play the drum sets in my church back in Fort Worth. And then seventh grade came around, tried out for the band. It kept going. I ended up being one of the best drummers in the school, in high school. And so it was kind of like people were like, you got to go to school for music. I mean, you good at drumming, so let's do it. And so I went to audition. Actually, one of my buddies was walking into the school. We had a packet that said Arkansas Music Scholarship or auditions on it. I hadn't even heard of the school before, University of Arkansas. You know what I mean? And so you going to Arkansas, man, with the kissing cousins way up there? He was like, yeah, I'm gonna go try it. I like, you know what? I'm going to. I went. I'm glad I went, man, because the professors, they loved me. They gave me a scholarship, and the rest is history.
Who are your musical influences?
Man, so I've been a drummer, so I'm a percussionist, man. So of course, as we talked last time, like Buddy Rich, I got a whole plethora of drummers, man. I listen to a lot of bands I listen to, and it's weird because people come to me sometimes, like my buddy Bernard, about music questions, and it blows his mind how much I know about music because I studied, I got a degree in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just talking to me on the street, you think I'm just a boxer and whatever. But people ask me music questions about scales and different modulations and different pieces and stuff like that. I know all of it.
You a rock and roll. I'm a rock and roll guy, so I was curious to see what
I
rock.
got you. No, so I'm more of jazz and like
Whether are there any
Latin
rock and
jazz,
roll
smooth jazz.
drummers that you listen to, or you
You know you
find
got Neil Peart, man.
God rest his soul, just passed away from Rush.
Yes, sir. You know you got to talk about Neil Peart, man.
What about
Man, just
what about some of the old school guys like Keith Moon and whatnot?
definitely, man. That's what I'm saying. So just like I treat music, I always study the olds and the greats. The same thing in boxing, the same way too, man. I always looking at old film or old music, and kind of develop my own style from there.
I don't know how familiar. One of my favorite drummers is, and you probably know him because actually he was on with Conan O'Brien, Max Weinberg. You familiar with him?
Okay, it sounds familiar. I don't know him on
He's,
top of my head.
he's Bruce Springsteen's drummer. Look him up.
Okay.
He's an incredible drummer. So
I'm gonna look him up. You gotta look up Aaron Spears, man. You heard of Aaron Spears?
no, who's he with?
Aaron Spears is toured with Usher, man, and toured
Okay.
with Earth, Wind& Fire. He toured all over, man. He did the American Idol scene. For
Okay,
2 or 3 years.
I'll look him up. I'm more of a rock and roll guy, but
Okay.
I'll look him up. So obviously we're established ourselves 12-on-1 super middleweight division. The top of the division is it's pretty good out there. I mean, you have guys champions like Benavidez. You got Caleb Plant. Obviously Canelo's lurking around there. Callum Smith. Some real good fighters. I understand that you may have an eye towards Caleb Plant possibly.
Yeah, that's kind of old history, man. I fought Caleb in the amateurs at the regional Golden Gloves here. So Arkansas has state Golden Gloves and then regional Golden Gloves, which is Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi, all this all surrounding states and stuff. And so I fought him in the finals of the Mid-South Golden Gloves. At this time, I only had maybe 13, 14 amateur fights. Caleb was the 2012 Olympic alternate, 2011 National Golden Glove champ. He had all the accolades and all the experience and all this BS they said he had. Man, we went in there and put our jab in Caleb's face. He didn't know what to do, man. It was lost. And so me and my team felt like we edged it out. But of course, you got a 200-fight veteran versus a 13-fight veteran going to the national tournament. Of course, they're going to pick him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, but do you? I know you're probably several fights away from the top of the division, but I mean, do you keep an eye on what Benavidez is doing and what Plant's doing,
Definitely,
Callum
man.
Smith? Those are. I mean, I'm not counting Canelo, but between Smith, Plant, and Benavidez, who do you like?
I like all three of them, man. Benavidez right now, apparently I hear run away from Caleb, and I don't know why. But the thing is, like, some people say it's a couple fights away, but in boxing, all it takes is one fight, and now
Yeah,
you're in the mix
absolutely.
now.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I'm saying
Yes,
you
sir.
probably won one or two, especially
Correct.
coming off the injury. You probably want to get your feet wet again
Correct.
and
Yes, sir.
whatnot.
I
Being
got my eyes on it, man. I'm watching the rankings too. Right after B Rob, after Antoine Akins, I think I was top 15 in the country in my weight class, and I was the only one. If I looked above me, everyone above me had 25 plus fights, only had 12, and so that's how you get on the rankings, by beating people with more experience, and not just beating them, but knocking their ass out. Excuse me, my friend.
That's it. Well, you've already said worse during this interview. So, I mean, ass is like G rated for this interview. Being from Dallas, I'm very scared to ask this question. You better not be a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Man, first off, I'm from Fort Worth, and I'm a huge
Well,
Dallas
it's
Cowboys
close enough.
fan, man. I'm a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, man. I grew up around it. Like, what is some? Let me see. You a Philly fan too, right?
Yeah, but I don't even know how they let you in the city a few times with you being a Cowboys fan. We hate that.
Oh,
We hate
man.
the Cowboys.
You know what's crazy is that the same year that I fought B Rob and won against B Rob, the Cowboys beat the Eagles the next week, man. It is what it is. This will be done, man.
You think they should give Prescott $40-something million a year?
Why not, man? They're giving lesser quarterbacks 37.
I'm actually hoping they do because
Yeah, man.
I'm actually hoping they do because I don't think he's very good. So have Prescott screw that salary cap up. You happy with the offseason moves that they made? They lost a lot of guys on defense, but they drafted CeeDee Lamb on offense. So
Correct. It's been hard to kind of keep up here lately because of all the pandemic and stuff like that. But man, my thing is with the Prescott money thing is anybody who has played a contact sport and risked their lives like
well,
that, man.
Of course, you're going to try to get as much money as you can. I hear that. But you as a fan, you could screw the team up for a year if he doesn't lead them deep into the playoffs because of the salary cap stuff.
Correct. I think he can, though, man. I think Dak Prescott is very talented, man.
Okay.
Very talented. I know you don't like him because you're a hater, but
No, I'm not a hater. I'm just realistic. So in Arkansas, I know football is big there and basketball is big there. You get caught up in any of the sports now. Well, you're probably an Arkansas fan, being that you're a graduate.
That's a double-edged sword right there, Mark, man. So
What's that?
I love the university a lot, but man, the Razorbacks is like an ex-girlfriend that keeps promise you stuff and keep dumping you and then promise you and not showing up, man. That's how sometimes the Razorback sports are. But basketball looks to be on up and up. Football team just hired a new coach.
Yeah.
And baseball team always been stellar. So, man, it's a good, man. There's no pro sports in Arkansas. So the college is like, the whole state shuts down for a Razorback football game. If I can just show you guys the experience it is to go to a Razorback football game, man, like it is ridiculous, man.
Just get back to the last fight with Plon and everything. Obviously, you've had a lot of time off with everything with the injury, and plus now with the shutdown. Did you watch the fight? Things that you feel you can work on? You find a lot of things you can work on.
Definitely, man.
Without giving much away, unless you don't want to give a game plan out, but anything.
So this is my theory with game plans: is that it's like old school football. You know what I'm doing, but can you stop it?
There you go.
The ball up to me, can you stop it? Yeah. So by watching the fight film, like I said, we got started too slow, and we started with the jab, but we didn't jab enough, and then also we just got to cut the ring off, man. We gave him too many exit routes. We was in there like we'll jab forward, he'll slide out to his left. So we got a game plan to stop that, and of course let our hands go more, man.
Hey.
I promise you, in a 10-round fight, you saw all the shit he was talking about, how he felt like I was in trouble. Not once the plan that had me hurt. Not one punch that I feel like I was in danger. Like at no time of the fight, I felt like I was in danger. And you saw he was dying off at the end of that fight. So a 10-rounder fight, oh yeah, man.
When he fought Newman, were you rooting for him?
No, I was actually hoping it was a draw so I can beat both of their ass again, man.
When do you think we should be able to see you back in the ring? I mean, obviously, a lot's going to depend on when fights can happen with fans and whatnot, when promoters, can come back full tilt. When do you feel it'll be comfortable for you to get back in the ring coming off the injury?
Sorry, I got a phone call. But so what's weird for me is that, when all this Corona stuff hit, man, I was actually recovering my eyes. So it's like, for me, it sounds selfish, but that's the silver lining and all this is that I had time to heal. And so the doctor actually cleared me to get back to some contact earlier. Like, he was told me I couldn't have zero contact until August. He cleared me 2 weeks ago. I can get back to sparring. So he's healing really well. So in my mind, in a perfect world, I would love to get back fighting late August, early September, then try to run it back again in December, man. Try to get 2 more for the end of the year.
Got a question from Mike Miner watching us on Facebook. Who do you think was your hardest fight?
Man, it's a great question, man. Man, great question. So one of the best fights I had, of course, was with Brandon Robinson, man. He brought that dog out of me. I had to dig down. I think it's more so because of my legs. But he definitely, I hit him and he didn't fall. Most of the guys I fought, I hit him with a good shot, he kind of retreat. And when Brandon, I hit him, he came back stronger, man. It's one of the better fights, but as far as hardest fights, man, I fought a guy in Little Rock, my 6th pro fight. He was undefeated. I was 5-0, he was 4-0. And this sucker had a cannon for an arm, Mark. I mean, like, in both hands. His technique was trash, but he was hitting like a damn Moscow mule, man. I'm talking about, like, right across the mustache. And so he caught me with a shot in the 4th round. It actually dropped me, man. It dropped me, and half of my body was outside the ring. So I had to get myself up in the ring, stand up, and I finished the fight out on my feet, fighting back. But that was, I think, the hardest fight. I had to dig down into my heart and show the people that this is real, man. It ain't nothing sweet. I was winning that fight easy, too. Easy fight. Winning the fight, outboxing. I dropped him in the 3rd round. I get caught with something stupid in the last round.
Gotcha. Anything before we let you go? What do you? Would it be Bobby Taylor? Was that the fight?
Yeah, man, definitely.
Gotta love box rec. Got a couple more. I think we got a couple more things. Mike Miner, he's said B-Rob's a beast. Said your last fight was great, and he was at the last fight when he fought Brandon. Apparently, I know there was a little bad blood with you and Brandon leading up to the fight, but now you guys are good.
Yeah, I mean, we actually cool, man. We chopped it up about after my surgery and about his upcoming fights and stuff like that. But it's all business with me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I understand some people have to get hyped up or have to get to go in there and fight. And me, it's like clocking into a job. I told people if I worked at Walmart, I wouldn't go, okay, all right, let's do this. No, I don't do that. This is the job for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So me clocking what I do.
Well, actually, working at Walmart these days has been dangerous. So,
I thought to go in Walmart. Man.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, man, we cool, man. Him and Rashad, man, we cool.
Yeah, good people. Good people.
Really good people, man. Really good people.
Just trying to see here if there's any more thing. That's a great thing about boxing. You have a kid from like yourself from Fort Worth. Sorry, didn't say Dallas this time. And Brandon from Philadelphia. You beat each other up for a half hour. Then you put your arm around each other and drink a water. Have an orange juice and become friends again. Where can we see Kalvin Hot Sauce Henderson on social media? If any of the fans out there want to get in touch with you.
It's Kalvin with the K, Kalvin Henderson at Instagram, Sauce Henderson or Hot Sauce Henderson on Twitter, and of course Kalvin Hot Sauce Henderson on Facebook. Get out your boy, man.
I'd be remiss. I know I've asked you this question before. How do you get the nickname Hot Sauce?
Yes, sir, man. So it's kind of, man, it's weird. So I think about that all the time. It's kind of like a 2-part answer, man. The one part is that, man, I loved hot sauce so much when I was in high school that I used to put that shit on all my food, man. Pizza, tacos, corn, salads, all that stuff, you know what I mean? And then also I was going to high school, an N1 mixtape basketball. I used to
watch those.
Yeah, it was a guy with the hot, like,
yeah, I remember him.
Like hot sauce, yeah, man. So I was like, man, you know what? I'm the hot sauce of the boxing ring, man. That's who I am. Yeah, so kind of 2-part answer with that.
I liked who do I like? I like
half amazing.
Well, no, I like the professor, and I like
sir.
He was good. Grayson Boucher, I believe his name was, and
yes, sir.
And the Escalade. I mean that.
Oh man, I forgot about the Escalade.
That guy was 6'9", 380 probably.
Yes, sir, man. I saw my guy on, man. He
Alan,
had a headband.
What's the, if I'd ask you what's the craziest thing you've put hot sauce on? What would that be?
Ooh, snaps, man. Crazy thing. You know what would be the craziest? You know what? Flip that question. The craziest hot sauce I tried, man. This hot sauce is called Devil's Blood.
Oh, I don't even want to know. I have a bad stomach, so I don't even know.
Just imagine coming out the other end, man. Just imagine that.
Alan Trey Davis III, hot sauce. I'm your biggest fan. If you ain't got the sauce, it's your loss.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's my nephew, man.
Okay. And John Driscoll, two tune-ups and plant. See you there, champ. So you got a lot of, got a lot of fans. Anything you want to say in closing before we let you go?
Yeah, man, I want to thank, man, my entire team, man, my wife, Danielle, my kids, all 1,800 of them. All five. I got to take my team, my straight right, man, Kevin, Shane, Marshall, man, always to the top, baby.
Well, thank you for a few minutes of your time, and before your next fight, we'll get you back on. We'll chop it up, talk to all the people around the country, and actually all the people around the world. You have a wonderful night.
Perfect. Thank you, big dog. Make it.